Chelsea are in serious trouble and nobody can pretend otherwise. Before we get into it, if you are not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, John Chelsea Analysis, please go ahead and do that right now. Hit that notification bell so you never miss any of our videos. We break down everything Chelsea, from tactics to transfers to the big talking points. Now let us get into today's topic. Chelsea just hit rock bottom. Or have they? Let me ask you something. When was the last time you watched a Chelsea game and felt genuinely excited about what you were seeing? When was the last time you sat down, watched the boys in blue, and thought to yourself, yes, this team knows where it is going? If you are being honest, it has been a while. And after what happened on Saturday night at Everton, things have gotten a whole lot worse. Chelsea traveled to the Hill Dickinson Stadium on Saturday, 24 March 2026, and came back with nothing. Not just nothing, but a 3-0 hammering that left fans booing at full time and pundits absolutely furious. This was Chelsea's heaviest ever defeat at Everton in the Premier League. Think about that for a second. Out of all the times these two clubs have played each other over the years, this was the worst it has ever been at Goodison for Chelsea. That is not just a bad result. That is a statement. And unfortunately, it is not the kind of statement anyone at Stamford Bridge wants to be making right now. So what exactly happened? How did we get here? And more importantly, where do we go from here? Let us break it all down. What actually happened against Everton? Chelsea went into this game already on the back foot. Just a few days earlier, they had been knocked out of the Champions League by Paris Saint-Germain, losing 8-2 on aggregate over the two legs. Yes, you read that right. 8-2 against a single opponent across 2 games. That is not just a bad run of form. That is a total collapse. And to make things even worse, they had also lost 1-0 at home to Newcastle just a week before the PSG disaster. So Chelsea arrived at Everton carrying a lot of pain, a lot of questions, and not a lot of confidence. Everton, managed by David Moyes, were absolutely ruthless. They went after Chelsea from the very first minute. They were aggressive, they were organized, they were full of energy, and most importantly, they wanted it more. You could see it in every tackle, every press, every run. Everton looked like a team fighting for their lives. Chelsea looked like a team that had already given up. Beto was the man of the match. The Everton striker scored twice and caused all kinds of problems throughout the game. Iliman Ndiaye also got on the score sheet, putting the result beyond any doubt. The final score was 3-0, and it could honestly have been more. Now here is what makes this even more painful. That result leaves Chelsea just 2 points above Everton in 6th place. 6th place. A club that spent over £1 billion in recent transfer windows, a club that was supposed to be building toward greatness, is sitting in 6th place with Everton breathing down their necks. Let that sink in. Alan Shearer did not hold back. After the game, former England striker and Match of the Day pundit Alan Shearer gave his verdict on what he had just watched, and he was not kind. Shearer was particularly harsh about Chelsea's 2 centre-backs, Wesley Fofana and Jorel Hato. He said that Beto gave both of them a terrible evening. He pointed out how Beto was pressing, being aggressive, being difficult to deal with, and that the Chelsea defense simply could not handle it. But Shearer also made a bigger point. He said there was only one team that wanted to win that game, and that was Everton. He praised everything about Everton's performance, their attitude, their application, their organization. He said they went after Chelsea and that everything about them was impressive. Now, when a legend like Alan Shearer says the other team wanted it more, that is a serious criticism. That is not a tactical point. That is a character point. And for a club like Chelsea, with all the money they have spent, all the players they have brought in, being told that a team fighting relegation wanted it more than you is about as damning as it gets. But Shearer was not done. He also highlighted goalkeeper Robert Sanchez as a problem. Sanchez has been under fire for a while now, and on Saturday night he did little to help himself. Pundits and fans felt he was at fault for at least 2 of the 3 Everton goals, with one of them being directly his responsibility. His performances have been inconsistent for some time now, and the frustration around him is growing week by week. So let us ask the question directly. Is this a goalkeeper problem? Is it a defensive problem? Is it a system problem? Or is it a management problem? And can one person really fix all of this? The Robert Sanchez problem is getting bigger. Let us spend a moment on Robert Sanchez because this is something that has been building for a while and it is not going away. When Chelsea signed Sanchez, the idea was to bring in a goalkeeper who could play from the back, who was comfortable with his feet, and who could be part of a modern, possession-based style of play. That was the theory. The practice has been a different story. Sanchez has made error after error this season, his decision-making has been questioned, his positioning has been questioned, and on Saturday night, his performance against Everton added more fuel to a fire that is already burning pretty hot. The question now is whether anyone at Chelsea has the courage to make a decision about him. Do you drop him? Do you bring in a replacement in the summer? Do you keep faith and hope he finds better form? These are the kinds of decisions that managers and clubs have to make, and so far, there have been no clear answers. What is clear is that a goalkeeper is supposed to give his team confidence. A goalkeeper is supposed to be the last line of defense, the one person the whole team can rely on when things get difficult. Right now, Sanchez is doing the opposite. He is adding anxiety to a team that is already struggling. The defense needs total surgery. Now let us talk about the bigger defensive picture because it goes well beyond just one player. Ever since Thiago Silva left Chelsea in 2024, the club has been trying and failing to find a proper replacement. Silva was not just a good defender, he was a leader. He was someone who could organize a defense, calm things down under pressure, and make the players around him better. When he left, Chelsea lost something that money alone cannot simply replace. Since then, Chelsea have tried different combinations at centre back. None of them have worked consistently. Fofana has had his injury problems, Hato is still young and learning, and as Saturday's performance showed, the whole defensive unit can look very vulnerable when they are put under serious pressure. There have been names linked with a move to Stamford Bridge in the summer. Mario Gila has been mentioned. Kim Min-jae, who has won trophies at club level, has come up in discussions. Dayot Upamecano is another name that has been linked. Chelsea clearly know they need to strengthen at the back, but here's the real question. How much does a new centre-back actually fix the problem? You can bring in the best defender in the world, but if the system around him is not working, if the goalkeeper behind him is making errors, if the midfield is not protecting the defense properly, then even the best signing in the world will struggle. Chelsea need more than just one or two new faces. They need a plan. They need a structure. And right now, it is very hard to see exactly what that plan is. The Rory Jennings explosion, if you listen to TalkSport, you will know Rory Jennings. He is a Chelsea supporter and a co-host on the station, and on Saturday night, he absolutely lost it. After the third Everton goal went in, with the game at 3-0 and 77 minutes on the clock, Jennings called live on air for Chelsea manager Liam Rosenior to be sacked immediately. Not at the end of the season, not in the next few days. Right then, at that very moment, he called the whole Chelsea performance a disgrace. He said everyone on that pitch was a disgrace to the badge. He said Rosenior has proven he is not up to the job, and he said that the experiment of giving a young English manager this job has been tried, it has failed, and now it is time to move on. Now you might agree with him or you might not. But you cannot deny that Jennings was saying what a lot of Chelsea fans were feeling in that moment. The frustration, the anger, the sense that this is going nowhere, it all came pouring out. And when you are losing 3-0 to Everton after losing 8-2 to PSG, can you really blame people for feeling that way? His co-host Jamie O'Hara pointed out that Rosenior is on a 5-year contract with an option for a 6th year. That is a very long and very expensive contract. Jennings did not care. He said it was irrelevant. He said Chelsea gave Lewis Hall a long contract and then sold him to Newcastle, so contracts clearly do not mean that much to the club when they have made a decision. Now, whether you think Jennings went too far or not, the point he was making is one that a lot of people are discussing. Is Liam Rosenior the right man for this job? And if not, when does the club finally accept that? So what about Liam Rosenior? This is the big question. And it is not a simple one. Rosenior came in during January as the replacement for Enzo Maresca. That in itself tells you something. Chelsea changed managers in January, which is already a sign that things were not going well under Maresca. Rosenior was brought in to bring stability, to steady the ship, and to give Chelsea the best possible chance of qualifying for the Champions League. That was the goal when he walked through the door. Now here they are in March, with 9 Premier League defeats this season, out of the Champions League, losing to teams they should be beating, and with the fans turning on them. To be fair to Rosenior, he inherited a difficult situation. He came into a club that was already struggling. He has had to deal with long-term injuries to important players. Reece James has been out for a long time. Trevoh Chalobah has also been injured. The squad has had disruptions, and when you take over a struggling team halfway through a season, it is never going to be easy to turn things around quickly. But at the same time, being a manager means you are judged on results, and the results have not been good enough. The performances have not been good enough. The tactical decisions have been questioned. The way the team is set up has been questioned. And when you are the manager, all of that falls on you. The most telling moment from Saturday was not even the result itself, it was the fans. Chelsea's away end, the supporters who had made the trip to Everton, were heard booing at full time. One of the articles covering the game noted that this was one of the first times since Rosenior was appointed that the away fans had booed. That is significant. Chelsea fans have been patient, they have been giving the new manager time, but that patience is now running out. Do you think Rosenior should be given more time, or has he already had long enough to show what he can do? Let us know in the comments, we genuinely want to hear from you. The Cesc Fabregas idea. When Jennings was done venting about Rosenior, he put forward his own idea for who should replace him, and it was an interesting one. He called for Chelsea to get on the phone to Cesc Fabregas immediately. Fabregas, of course, is a Chelsea legend. He spent time at the club as a player, won the Premier League title, and was beloved by the fans. He is now the manager of Serie A club Como, where he has been doing an impressive job in one of the most romantic football stories of recent years. Jennings argued that Fabregas is exactly what Chelsea need right now. Someone who understands the club, who knows what it means to wear the badge, who won things in blue, and who has an affinity with the supporters. He said Fabregas knows what the standards at Chelsea should be because he lived up to those standards himself as a player. It is an exciting idea, and you can understand why fans would get behind it emotionally. The idea of a Chelsea legend coming in to rescue his former club is the kind of story football fans love. But Jennings himself admitted there is a problem. He said Fabregas has too much pride and would probably not want to work within the current structure at Chelsea. The club has gone through 4 different managers in a relatively short period of time. The ownership group, known as Blueco, has been criticized for not having a clear plan. Working in that environment would be a challenge for any manager, let alone someone with Fabregas's ambitions and self-belief. Still, the question is worth asking. Is Cesc Fabregas the right man for Chelsea? Could he be the one to turn this around? Or is it too early in his coaching career for a club with these kinds of pressures and expectations? What does Chelsea's ownership actually want? Here is something that does not get talked about enough. What exactly is Blueco's plan? Chelsea have had 4 different managers in a relatively short space of time. That is not stability. That is chaos. And when you look at what has happened on the pitch during that period, the constant changes have clearly not helped. According to reports, after the Everton defeat, Chelsea's position is that they still expect Rosenior to deliver Champions League football. They have not changed their target. The official line is that Rosenior was brought in to bring stability after Maresca, and the expectation remains that he qualifies for the Champions League. Now, on one hand, that shows loyalty. It shows that the club is not going to panic and make another rash decision. We have all seen what happens when clubs sack manager after manager. It rarely leads to success. Stability and patience are important. But on the other hand, you have to be realistic. Chelsea are in 6th place. They are 2 points above Everton. They have 9 league defeats. They are out of Europe. The Champions League spots are genuinely at risk. How much longer can you keep saying the same thing and expecting different results? There is also a very real danger in the approach Chelsea are currently taking. If they stick with Rosenior and he fails to get them into the Champions League, they will sack him anyway. And they will have wasted the rest of the season finding that out. At what point does loyalty become stubbornness? Where does this leave Chelsea's summer plans? One of the big stories surrounding Chelsea right now is their summer transfer plans. The club was expected to go into the summer window with a lot of ambition, new signings, new energy, a fresh start. But all of that is now hanging in the balance. Whether Chelsea qualify for the Champions League or not will have a massive impact on what they can do in the summer. The finances involved in Champions League football are enormous. The ability to attract top players depends heavily on whether you can offer them European football. If Chelsea miss out on the Champions League, it changes everything. Players who might have been interested in joining suddenly have less reason to come. The budget for transfers might be affected. The whole vision for the club's future gets put in doubt. And here is the cruel irony. The summer was supposed to be when Chelsea started putting the pieces together properly. Now they are in a situation where they might be spending the summer trying to fix a crisis rather than build on progress. The first defensive signing that Rosenior would want, if he is still in charge, would likely be an experienced centre-back. The names linked, including Mario Gila, Kim Min-jae, and Dayot Upamecano, all point to Chelsea knowing they need quality and experience at the back. But again, that all depends on the manager being there to make those decisions and on the club being in a strong enough position to attract the players they want. A word for the Chelsea faithful. To all the Chelsea fans reading this, we see you. We know how this feels. This is a club that has won the Champions League. This is a club that has won multiple Premier League titles. This is a club that has produced unforgettable moments and unforgettable players. The history is real. The glory is real. And that is exactly why this hurts so much, because you know what Chelsea can be. You know the standard. You have seen it. And watching the team trudge off the pitch at Everton after a 3-0 defeat, hearing the boos from the away end, seeing the pundits tear the performance apart, none of that feels anything like that standard. But football has a way of turning. Clubs that look hopeless in March have saved their seasons in April. Managers who looked finished have gone on runs that changed everything. Players who have gone missing for months have stepped up when it mattered most. Chelsea still have games to play. The season is not over. What Chelsea need right now, more than any transfer or any tactical tweak, is belief. They need someone in that dressing room to stand up and say enough, we are better than this, and actually mean it. They need a performance, one good performance, to remind themselves and everyone else what this club is capable of. The question is, can Rosenior be the one to bring that out of them? Or does Chelsea need someone else to light that fire? Final thoughts. The 3-0 defeat at Everton was not just a bad result. It was a moment that forced everyone connected with Chelsea to ask some serious questions. Questions about the manager, questions about the players, questions about the goalkeeper, questions about the defense, questions about the ownership and the plan. None of these questions have easy answers. What we do know is that Chelsea are at a crossroads. The decisions made in the next few weeks will shape the club for years to come. Get it right, and there is still a chance to salvage this season and build something real. get it wrong, and this could be the start of a much longer and much more painful decline. We will be watching, we will be analyzing, and we will be bringing you all of it here and on our YouTube channel, John Chelsea Analysis. If you have not subscribed yet, do it now. Hit the bell, turn on notifications, and stay close, because this story is far from over. And before you go, we want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell us what you think. Should Chelsea sack Liam Rosenior now or give him more time? Is Cesc Fabregas the right man to replace him if they do? Is Robert Sanchez the problem, or is the whole defensive system broken? And who do you think Chelsea should sign in the summer to fix this defense? Let us know. The conversation starts here. John Chelsea Analysis. Always blue, always honest, always here.